All right, good morning, guys.
Today is going to be a pretty action-packed day. So it is 7 a.m. It's Saturday, and the plan is going to be to do a full day of eating. So I'm going to take you through my entire day, and I'm going to show you all the way from A to Z of what I eat, why I eat it. There is a ton going on in life right now, so I'll get you guys up to date with everything that I have going on in my life and the journey going forward. But the theme of today is going to be going all in, and we're going to talk about it quite a bit throughout the video, but I want to talk about humans' ability to go all in on something, and then we'll look at the results of what happened when you do go all in. Today we're going to eat some food, train on the track, and I'm going to take you guys with me. So let's get into it. Alright, this is meal number one. We have 4 eggs, half a pepper, 2 slices of Ace sourdough, and then we did do a full avocado on top of there. For the calorie breakdown and macro breakdown, we have 860 calories, 100 grams of carbs, 40 grams of fat, and 39 grams of protein. So this meal is going to be a lot higher in fat than I would typically eat in the morning before a training session. 40 grams of fat and 40 grams of protein is quite a bit, but since it's 7:30 and I still have 2 hours until we're going to be at the track, I like to get a full meal in. I feel really good off of a full meal whenever I train, but usually if it's during the week, and I know most people obviously, you're going to wake up and you're going to go to work and you're going to have to train before that. So whenever you're training before that, it's easier to focus on quick carbs. So during the week, if I have a very strong session, I'm going to try to get about 60 grams of quick carbohydrates beforehand, which is usually like a Go bar or a piece of fruit with G1M, which is going to be like a clustered dextrin carb that you can drink right before you work out. And then I try to get electrolytes in as well. But since I have some more time today, we're getting a full meal in, and that is breakfast. All right, still haven't left yet, but we put about an hour block of work in, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I'm working on. At this point, you'll probably have already seen the video, but the Hyrox Worlds, the full story, we're getting together a thumbnail for that. So that is ready to go. But I want to say shout out to Jake. He's probably going to look at this video as he edits it. But if you do get the chance to watch the Hyrox Worlds full story, it's already on the YouTube. He did a great job of filming this, putting together all the film to tell the story in the right way. And I do think storytelling is the coolest part about all of this, because like even the competition, it didn't end the way that we wanted it to. But just the story around the entire race is really cool to look back and watch. So shout out Jake. But gonna do some editing, drink some coffee, and then hopefully actually get to the track now at 9:30, like I said earlier. All right, we have our work complete. Now we're gonna head to the track and meet Jake to do these repeats.
Bro, I bought the wrong Larabar flavor. I'm pissed.
What'd you get?
I got the chocolate chip.
Do you have it on you? Jake is a big Larabar guy.
Bro.
Every morning.
I got the chocolate chip cookie dough one instead of the peanut butter one.
Chocolate chip.
It's not good, dude.
It looks good.
I don't like chocolate.
We are at the track. And now it's time to do 8x800s. Gonna do a little bit of dynamic stretching and we'll go to the workout. All right, so the plan today is going to be, I know we already talked about it a little bit, but we're gonna do a 1 mile warm up, and then that's gonna be followed by 8x800 meter repeats, and then a 1 mile cool down. I did this workout right before Hyrox Worlds, and it was a good workout, but the one mistake I made was I came out too hot, and it was kind of hard to maintain that same pace where I'm about to redline, but you're not redline. It's kind of controlled discomfort in a way. So the goal today is going to be able to hold those paces at the right pace in the beginning. That way I can finish strong. So I'm going to look to hold about a 5:45 pace the entire time. And then if I'm feeling good, I'll push it at the end. If not, I want to be able to hold that the entire time. So that's the plan. You start questioning it, it's hard. But you have to make a conscious choice at this point. At this point, I've missed my splits the last 3. So my focus now is just effort. Because I thought a million times about quitting, but now it's just effort. I'll be honest, that time I blew up at like rep 4 or 5. No excuses at all, really, just blew up. And it's funny when that happens, you think a million times about like, all right, I'm just not gonna share this one's gonna, no. That's part of it. I went out too fast, again. Blew up on like rep 3, 4, and then was just trying to hold on to the end, so. Another lesson learned. We'll be better next time, but do the warm up or cool down mile. You can see my brain is, we'll be done. This is the face of a man who just got his ass beat. All right, we are back at the apartment, and now I'm going to make a meal that makes the most sense for right after a workout. So usually I'm gonna do quick digesting carbs and try to get a decent amount of protein in after a workout, usually around 40 grams. So that'll be like white rice usually, and then some form of like chicken or something along those lines. But today I was super hot outside, I'm not even gonna lie, so I want something a little bit more refreshing, something with fruit in it. So I'm going to make an oat bowl and throw some fruit in and some protein powder as well. So I'm gonna show you how I make that. All right, so first we got the oats in the bowl. We have 75 grams worth of oats, which ends up being around 50 grams of carbs, I believe. All right, that's in the microwave. And I would never usually track all of my food like this. I'm just doing it so I can give you guys an idea of what my nutrition looks like after workouts, before workouts, throughout the day. So you can kind of get an idea for how many carbs, fats, proteins that are in my diet around my training session. So for today, it's a little bit more of an intense day since we're doing the repeats and then we're having an athletic style lift later. So my carbohydrates are probably going to be a little bit higher today, probably more toward the 400, 450 range. So that's the plan. All right, so for the protein, I have BPN's whey protein. This is banana French toast, and then I'm going to do just 1 scoop of that in the oats. All right, next I'm going to do a little bit of just raw honey. So I'm going to turn on the scale. 20 grams of honey. I'll show you what that looks like. Now this is about where we're at. And then the last thing, I'm gonna cut up a banana and throw that in there just because the protein is banana as well, so it only makes sense. Last thing, I am gonna throw a little bit of salt in there as well. All right, this is a final look. I know it looks a little bit just like mush, but I promise it's really good. So the full macros on the meal, we have 552 calories, 92 carbs, 8 grams of fat, 35 protein. So the protein and carbs are decently high, and that's gonna help digest really fast and make sure that we're replenished right after our workout. So, all right, we showered. Now the plan is to make a cappuccino, and we have the Nespresso here. This is what I usually make them with. I honestly love this thing, but Bradley isn't here, so this is probably not gonna be as good as she would usually make it, but it's gonna help us lock in for a 4-hour block. We're working on something extremely special, and we have probably about a month or so, I would say, left of building and working, but I truly am super excited to share it with you guys. And this is gonna be something I wish I had when I first started and I got into fitness. It's gonna be very unique, and yeah, that's all good. But we've been grinding, and I'm really excited about it. So, but yeah, we're gonna make this cappuccino and get to work. All right, guys. Third meal, we're gonna make chicken thighs, and then we're gonna do just some rice and peppers, and keep it super simple. But I'm gonna show you how I like to make them. This isn't anything super special, but first we're gonna get some butter on the cast iron. I think the chicken thighs are really good on cast iron, so get some butter, throw them on there, and then let both sides cook for quite a while. All right, meal number 3. And this is what it ends up looking like. The chicken thigh, rice, peppers. And I'm gonna go ahead and read off the macros and then the calorie count on this meal for you. All right, we had 206 grams of chicken thigh, and then 90 grams of cooked, 180 grams of cooked jasmine rice. So that comes out to 758 calories. And then this meal is 70 grams of carbs. This meal is 22 grams of fat, and then 56 protein. That is meal number 3. And right now on the day, we are at 225 carbs, 70 fat, and 128 protein. And then we're looking at around 2,000 calories-ish total so far. So we still have 2 meals to go after this in the training session. But gonna enjoy this, and then we'll be going to the gym in about an hour. Change of plans. The gym that I was gonna go to, the front desk worker left ahead of time, so there was no one able to check me in. We're gonna pivot, and we are going to do a bike on the trainer over here. So this is my setup on the trainer. I have the Zwift rider, and then I also have the Wahoo Kicker core, and then we have the iPad set up over this way, and then we're gonna get Zwift going on this iPad, and that's gonna show us our workout. But the goal for this workout is going to just be around a zone 2 with some zone 3 intervals mixed in, and then we're gonna keep the duration around about an hour or so. So we'll get in 2 hours of conditioning today, so it'll turn into a little bit more of a conditioning day. Not exactly what we thought was gonna happen, but you roll with the punches, and then after that we'll cook dinner, and I'll show you guys a little bit later the yogurt bowl that I make pretty much every single night with a little bit of a variation. But we're gonna get into this workout. I do want to give a little bit of a life update, a check-in, if you will. But right now in my life, I'm going through a pretty big career change. And without going into too much detail there, I've spent the last 4 years of my life helping build a company and operating in a company, and I've been in it since I was 21 years old. So anything I knew to be true, believed about in business, I had learned in that company, and it had become a huge part of my identity. So parting ways with it was being fully transparent, a scary time, but now it's extremely exciting. I let on there, like I'm in the process of building something right now that I'm very proud of, and that I know is gonna help a lot of people, and I'm very passionate about. But aside from that, I just wanted to hone in on, and I made an Instagram post about this, but seasons of change. Because I think a lot of times in situations like this, people could easily look at it as why me? I know it sounds cliche to say, but for me, I'm flipping it of why not me? And I like to look at it as God is giving me an opportunity to step into something that I know is for me, feel very alive and passionate, and it's an opportunity. It truly is. So if you're watching and maybe you're going through some change yourself, we've all been through it, whether it's relationships, loss, career change, whatever it may be. Sticking to the basics, believing in yourself, because you can believe in yourself in times like that. When you get out of it, you're gonna be a weapon. All right, that is a wrap on the workout. Check this out. And then it's summer, so it's mandatory. We're gonna do a sweat test with the socks. That's nuts. Let's cook dinner. All right, so for dinner, this is gonna be meal number 4. We have some ground beef going, and then we're cutting up a pepper. I have a mango as well that I'm cutting up. Fresh fruit just sounds really good. It's really hot outside, so sounds fire right now. And then we have these tortillas here that we're gonna throw in the air fryer to make sure they're a little bit crispy. And that is gonna be meal number 4. We're gonna eat about 5 of those tacos, and then a yogurt bowl later. But for now, I'm hungry. So this is what dinner is looking like. And then that's a mango all cut up. We got 5 tacos. Now we're gonna sit down and enjoy. All right, so this entire meal is 938 calories, 72 grams of carbs, 43 grams of fat, and 66 grams of protein. So once again, this meal is a lot higher in fat, obviously, and so was the breakfast meal. They were both around 40 grams of fat. So that's when I'm getting the majority of my fats, and then my protein and carbs are always loaded more so around the workouts themselves. So we're gonna get into this, and later we're gonna have a special guest entrance. Drew's actually showing up, so I'm probably just gonna leave the rest of the beef in the pan for him, because I know he's gonna be hungry. He worked the store all day, and then he's making his way here, so I'm gonna eat this and wait on him to pull up. I don't think I'm probably telling you anything you don't already know here, but this sauce, unreal, dude. Like, unreal. It is so good. All right, last meal of the night, and I always do the Oikos, the 000 yogurt. So then we did enough to where we can get 40 grams of protein out of this. And I believe that it ended up being around 400 grams total of yogurt. And then we put a peach in there, and then I'm going to show you the cereal that I put on top of it for extra carbs. And then this is the cereal that I put on top. So the Kashi Organic Honey Toasted, we just did 1 cup. So it adds about 30 grams of carbohydrates on top. And then that is going to top us off for the day. So we're going to sit down and go through the entire macros for the day and break down why I did what I did. All right, so this bowl is pretty big, truthfully, but we had a lot of calories to make up. So this is what we're looking at for the last meal of the day. 450 total calories, 68 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat, 46 protein. And if we go back and look at our daily totals on the day, we are at 3,449 calories on the day. And then macro wise, we did 366 grams of carbs, 115 fat, 240 protein. So a little bit later, if I need a little bit more carbohydrates, like I feel like I'm still a little bit hungry because it was a pretty intense training day, I'll probably eat a little bit more fruit or something on top of it just to get to that 400 mark, because that is a little bit lower than I would like, but most of the time I do intuitively eat, so. It wasn't over. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the full day of eating and the full day of training. I hope that you were able to take at least one thing from the training or from the nutrition. As you saw, like in the first workout, I did fail my splits about halfway through, so not the best executed workout. And then the second workout, we were planning on doing a full body lift at the gym. Both gyms were closed, but we made it work and trained hard. But that has kind of been the theme this year. And we talked earlier in the video about going all in and being completely focused on one thing to maximize your potential in one aspect. And for me this year, that's Hyrox and the road to Sweden. And I'm going to continue documenting the entire thing. And that's why you saw a workout today where I failed about halfway through. And I shouldn't say failed, but didn't hit my splits. But that effort was still there and finished the workout hard. And those are going to be the ones that I look back on. And I'm thankful for, because there's going to be a time I come back to that workout and I'm going to crush it, and my times are going to be even better than they were this time. So yeah, we have a lot of big transitions happening, a lot of big moves, a lot of change coming in the next few months, but I'm going to document all of it and keep you guys up to date as things change. So you have anything to say?
Not really. Just go all in type of shit, you know what I'm saying?
You heard him. All right, guys. Stick around. I'm going to keep dropping videos every single week and document the entire journey. So hope you guys had a good one, and we'll see you next time.